Hey, what's up, y'all? Good to see you. Welcome to The Uplift. We have a great show for you today and a great cast of characters. A young ballerina from Minnesota who nabbed the role of a lifetime in New York City, of all places. A group of students who created an innovative chair for children with disabilities. A Santa hoping to bring representation to the world of St. Nick. Woodworkers using their talents to make Christmas special for others. Plus, Julia Roberts talks about her past roles, but where are some of those characters now? We have the questions. She also has answers, so stick around for that. All that and more heartwarming news. You are watching The Uplift. Hey y'all, I'm Nate Burleson, and this is the show that will lift you up for at least the next 30 minutes. We begin with a story about a chair. Yes, a chair, but not just any chair, a special one. It was created by students at Tulane University in New Orleans to help kids with disabilities. Here's our guy, David Begnaud.
This is a story about a small chair, but it's got a big impact. The kind of chair that gives mobility to children with disabilities. Meet Jackson. He's a 4-year-old boy from Covington, Louisiana.
Look at that big smile.
He has dystonia. It's a condition that affects his muscles. And he has a developmental delay. He doesn't walk or speak.
When they offered you this wheelchair, was he mobile at all at that time?
No. Elizabeth and Brian Fabregas are Jackson's parents. They say after 8 months in that chair, Jackson has been able to sit up on his own. And now he's moving around independently.
So it gave him a more ground level view.
Yep, That's what made me happy, because it's like he's included with everything.
The parents say that the toy-like chair has been wonderful because it created a playful experience with Jackson's older brother, Brody, and has been the bridge from not walking to now using a walker.
Okay, so give us the report card. How would you grade it?
It's an A+. I mean, it's helped Jackson, become more mobile and be able to be adapting to the other things that he's going to be offered. It's helped his development.
Now, meet the man at the front of this creation, Noam Platt. He's an architect in New Orleans who heads up an organization called Make Good. They focus on assistive technology, the kinds of devices people can't find in the commercial workplace or can't afford.
Pull this out.
Platt came across the design for the chair on an Israeli website that lists open source information for developers like him.
You just called the hospitals and said, hey, I'm making this. Might you have a need for it?
Yeah, I mean, I have a previous relationship with some of these health systems through my work as an architect. And part of it is really empowering the clinicians to understand that we can go beyond what's commercially available. We can really create almost anything.
Get those bells.
Sebastian Grant. He was born premature at just 24 weeks old. He spent 10 months in the neonatal ICU.
He has gone through more in his 15 months of life than adults have gone through their whole life.
Sebastian needs a trach to breathe, and he's still being fed through a tube.
Sebastian, look! Need your little chair.
We were there with Sebastian's parents, Tamara and Shane Michael, when he got his customized chair.
This is a chair that he could be in and go around the house and actually be in control of himself a little bit.
Yeah, I'm scared for when we get to that point.
I hope your heels are ready, because he's going to be running into y'all with that little chair. Oh, that's why they put bumpers on the front.
Yes, thank God for the bumpers.
Here's a baby who spent most of his life on his back, and now he's sitting up straight. His therapist says it is a game changer.
Yay, Sebastian!
This costs how much to build in total?
I believe each of these was under $200.
To buy a wheelchair for a kid this small through an insurance company could go for how much, do you know?
$1,000 to $10,000.
The labor to build these chairs was free. Platt's organization partnered with Tulane University to find students who would volunteer their time and skills to build the chairs. 15 chairs have been made over the past year.
Oh, it was so moving.
Tulane student Alyssa Bachman is part of that team.
For me, it's very grounding. You can come in somewhere here like the Makerspace and make such a huge impact on a child with only a couple hours of effort.
The design is really simple. The base and the wheels are made out of wood. The plastic attachments are 3D printed. It's all assembled by hand. Those bright colors are intentionally childlike. And right before Sebastian got his chair, the Tulane students and Noam Platt went back to customize it.
We're putting the name tag right here.
You got your hand on the wheel. You're so smart.
So that it could hold his little ventilator and the tubes that make it possible for his 24-pound body to keep going.
And here, I want to show you this too, is that they're all signed by the people who make them, which is also
that's
really
wonderful.
neat. And it's just that extra bit of personal touch that really connects kind of through time to the people who made this, to the people who use it.
So that chair was made with love from multiple strangers who will never meet Sebastian.
Wow. That's crazy, but definitely needed.
That says a lot, like just how everything comes together to help my son. It's overwhelming.
What would you want to say to them?
The sense of gratitude I have, they would never understand. You really mean the world to us. What you've done for him is make his life a little more easier.
See, my belief is if you know how to physically make something, you might as well make a difference. Coming up, a young ballerina takes a journey from Minnesota to New York City to fulfill her dreams at Radio City Music Hall. Plus, a group of woodworkers use their skills to bring joy to kids during the holidays. A 13-year-old ballerina from Minnesota recently fulfilled a holiday wish that most dancers would only dream of. Here's Mariel Moles with her story.
Savannah Menzel doesn't take a day off. When she's not in school, she's here at Larkin Dance Studio in Maplewood, making herself a better, stronger dancer, which paid off in a big way when she landed the role of a lifetime.
I made it through every cut, and I was so surprised.
This is a team win for the Larkin family when they learned one of their own was cast as Clara in the Nutcracker performance in the Christmas Spectacular at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. Savannah made the move to Manhattan and started performing as Clara a week before Thanksgiving.
I've never danced on a stage quite this big. It's like the most magical feeling ever because you can just imagine all of the hours you spent training and stuff, and it's all paid off.
Savannah is definitely one in a million. She goes above and beyond all of her training. Lots of expression, okay?
Mackenzie Larkin is one of Savannah's dance teachers who is so proud to see her succeed on a national stage.
We just can't wait to see her shine even more, come back even stronger, and be on that next level. And tight.
Savannah's accomplishments are an inspiration to many young dancers, including her little sister, Scarlett.
Keep reaching for your dream because it can come true.
Dancing her way into her wildest dreams. Awesome stuff. All right, a group of avid woodworkers in Sacramento are using their skills to help kids this holiday season. Marley Genter takes us to their workshop to see what they are crafting up.
We spend thousands of hours to make these toys.
From wooden planes and piggy banks to a game of Go Fish, volunteers with the Sacramento Area Woodworkers organization are trying to make Christmas extra special for kids in need.
It's just feeling good about what I do and having fun doing it.
Every child needs a toy.
You won't find these items in any store. Each piece is handcrafted by local carpenters.
It's just trying to imagine what they would like, and that's what gives us the, warm and fuzzies, if you will. These kids that are probably going to get these toys aren't going to get a lot of toys. So I want them to have a toy that it's going to be worth having.
The woodworkers spend months making toys and then give them to the Salvation Army.
These toys will be underneath Christmas trees this Christmas.
Major Rio Ray says these old-fashioned wooden toys are still appreciated by today's kids.
I think when they have something in their hand to actually play with, it's actually better. And you'll find that those kids, when all of a sudden the phone battery has died, they go back to those cars and those toys and their imagination grows from it.
And he says there's a growing need for these type of donations.
Families that may not have struggled at one point, now are thinking, what can I do for my kid at Christmas?
It's an annual effort to bring joy to kids with items that can be cherished and last a lifetime.
Parents say, oh, this stuff is too good to play with, And he says, no, 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 that's what the point is. Use it. You know, it's not meant to be looked at, it's meant to be played with.
I grew up with those little wooden toys. They're durable and they're fun. I love that. All the nostalgia is kicking in. Okay, growing up, Lloyd Johnson found it hard to believe in Santa. As he got older, he decided to become the Santa he wanted others to see.
Growing up, it was hard to believe in Santa because it was a white Santa. Everything in my life was black. I grew up right in the civil rights era. I grew up in Clarksville, Tennessee. We lived in the projects. We didn't have chimneys. We didn't see anybody that looked like us, and there was no such thing as a black Santa. I went to an all-black school up until 1969, where integration came in, and still we only saw white Santas. And as I grew older and older, I knew there was a place for me. Let me play a black Santa for my family all my life. But in 2021, I believe, is the first appearance. It was a fair in Clarksville. We still had some people who would walk by and shake their heads, but we persevered. And this is really, again, it's larger than all of us. I believe that heroes come in every shape, form, and fashion. And I believe it's very important that Latinos, blacks, whites, any child should see a Santa that looks like them. They should see Santas that don't look like them. They should be exposed to the world as we know it. The diversity is so important. And it's so important that we acknowledge it, accept it. It's not going back. We're moving ahead. I'm 67. And I love seeing older people who cry because they've never seen it. They had never seen it in their lives. And so therefore, when they see a black Santa, I've had a young lady say, listen, I never thought I'd see it. A black Santa in my whole life. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you.
When we seen the black Santa, we were excited because I was like, oh, the Santa is black. You know, he looks like us because you don't often see that. Growing up, I have a picture on my phone when I was small, probably like 5 or 6, and the Santa is not black. So no, I didn't have any pictures really of growing up with black Santa or really seeing him, out in public.
In today's time, for little brown boys and girls to see someone who looks like them, it just brings so much joy. Yes, yes.
Ho, 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 ho.
I know they say black folks are tropical people, but there's black Santas at the North Pole. I love that story. Shout out to you, Lloyd. All right, coming up, another Santa story. This one about a fleet of St. Nick's is aimed at helping seniors. Plus, from Pretty Woman to Runaway Bride, Julia Roberts has played many iconic characters over the years. So where did they all end up after the credits rolled? Find out in just a bit. Santa might seem like a character for kids, but an organization in Minnesota believes Santa can help seniors. Here's CBS Minnesota's David Schumann.
Hi, Merry Christmas.
Caitlin McDaniel walked in wearing her Santa hat, and it didn't take long for Dick and Marianne Newman to get in the spirit as well.
There you go.
This visit is a part of Santa's Senior Helpers, help the Newmans gladly accept now that they're in their 90s.
We don't drive. We have walkers. We've slowed down at our age.
Caitlin's here for 2 holiday tasks, addressing the Christmas cards that Marianne sends to every person in their living facility, and baking a fruitcake, which is really more of Dick's holiday tradition.
I used to buy a tin, had 3-pound loaf of it, and that would last until the 4th of July.
Senior helpers visit the Newmans 3 days a week doing various household chores. The agency has 25 caregivers for their clients around the metro area.
Our goal is really to increase the quality of life of people as they age. When it comes to the holidays, quality of life means, being able to carry on tradition.
I don't have to go to assisted care now. I don't want that. But we do like this level of having help.
And thanks to their senior helper,
looks like they got things under control.
the final product's ready to come out of the oven.
I think we got it.
The Newmans can focus on what matters most to them, quality time with family.
I don't think anybody should be ignored.
Santa's for everybody. All right, a holiday tradition in the suburbs of Chicago was almost wiped out in a fire this year. But thanks to kind strangers, the lights are back on. Here's CBS Chicago's Andrew Ramos.
The last time we saw Bob Casper, he was nursing some serious holiday heartache.
But there's my angel.
It was back in May when a fast-moving fire that started in his neighbor's home spread to his garage, which housed a number of his one-of-a-kind homemade holiday installations, destroying nearly everything. His award-winning display along Lyman Avenue, which for 3 decades has attracted crowds from across Cook County, getting news coverage and even being featured in a book, was at risk of not happening.
Everybody comes over and says, nobody has this stuff because you make it yourself. Yeah, the propeller turns and the lights up.
Shoot to 6 months later, Casper now singing a different tune.
Then you have something disaster like this happens, and then you meet so many great people. It's just been fantastic.
Those great people, members of the Chicago rich community, mostly just strangers who stepped up, not wanting to part with the long-standing tradition, donating everything from cash to decorations to get Casper back on his feet.
You know, you have people come up and said, you know, my parents brought me here, and now I'm bringing my kids here. Here's in the garage.
Since mid-September, he's been hard at work, refurbishing old installations and building new ones. An average 10 hours a day. His winter wonderland nearly completed, bigger and better than before. Now, this is just a drop in the bucket. According to Casper, when he is finally done, more than 40,000 lights are going to be lighting up this block.
I got to keep doing it. I can't, you know. Wife asked me a few times, when are you going to quit? Well, and I can't do it no more.
Casper now running up against the clock, the big reveal set to happen on December 1st.
Gotta love that. In the words of the great poet, Sean Paul, just give me that light. All right, coming up, Gayle King sits down with Julia Roberts for a game of looking back at some of her best-known roles and finding out where they would be now. Where's Vivian Ward and Darby Shaw today? Those are the questions, and Roberts has answers. Stick around. From Pretty Woman to Runaway Bride, Julia Roberts has brought some brilliant characters to life on the big screen. So where did those characters end up after the movie? Roberts has some ideas.
Where are they now? Your characters today. What do you think Mystic Pizza would be doing today, Daisy and Charles?
Gosh, that's an interesting... Let's hope they're still together and they have a bunch of cute little kiddos.
Pretty Woman, because that's where we all heard that Julia Roberts laugh. I still love your laugh to this day. The limo whisked her away. I was like, golly. I mean, I love that iconic line, a big mistake. I love that. Where do you think Vivian would be today? Would they still be together?
I think he passed away peacefully in his sleep from a heart attack, smiling. And now she runs his business.
Oh, I like that, Julia. My best friend's wedding. End of the movie, Jules, as you know, is left hanging out with her gay best friend. Do you think anything ended up happening with Michael?
No. No, he's married and faithful to his wife, and George and Julianne start a do-it-yourself show on HGTV and become wildly famous.
You're good. You're good. Runaway Bride. Maggie literally rides off into the sunset with Richard Gere after leaving 4 other men at the altar. What happens to her?
They stay together. He doesn't die in this one.
He doesn't,
They're
okay.
going to stay together.
Notting Hill. Is she still acting?
No, she's retired. She has 6 children and has maintained her waist size amazingly. And yeah, they have he runs the bookshop still, and now there's a little knitting annex to the bookshop that she runs.
She has discovered Spanx. Pelican Brief. Darby Shaw and Denzel's character. Do they get together? Because they go in the line of the movie, but they go right up to it, but there really is no physical contact. Do they get together?
To me, the end of the movie, they're absolutely together. And someone
Really?
just said this to me the other
They're
day.
watching TV.
Yeah, and then the journalist says, well, your source, me, seems too good to be true. And he says, in a way that only Denzel can, she just might be. And then in slow motion, I put my head down with my cheeks pink. And that says it all to me.
So they're together.
That's what I thought everybody thought. I think he's in love with her. She's in love with him.
I know we were all curious about some of those characters. Now you have the answers. All right, that's our show. I hope this news brightened up your day and lifted you up. And remember, keep shooting because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
This episode of The Uplift is presented by the Subaru Share the Love event.